Nick speaking, and welcome to this video on wound allocation. This is something new for Necrons, and the reason why I'm doing this video is basically, you could be new to Necrons, you could be new to 40k, you may not understand or you may not know about wound allocation and how to get the best out of a unit. There's a couple of units in the codex that you can take advantage of this. The first one is the tomb spiders. So now we can have a unit of tomb spiders, up to 3. I think most people will probably just take 2 at a time, but you may want to take 3. Now, wound allocation basically is making each model have different war gear, different options. So one with a gun, for example, one without a gun. If you had a third one, you can actually make that different. Take the anti-psychic power, for example. Now, as soon as you have models with different wounds, you can actually allocate wounds as they come in. So, for example, say I had some wounds. Say I had 6 wounds. As opposed to just rolling them all, and there, for example, I got 1, I got 1, 1, and a 2. And that would be, if they were exactly the same models, I'd have to lose a tomb spider. Now with wound allocation, what you do is you put 3 wounds on one and 3 wounds on the other, and you roll them separately. So in this case he would be fine, and in this case he takes a wound. So effectively you could still take 3 wounds. I mean, you could get, say he could have 2 wounds and he could have 1 wound on that particular roll. They're both still up, which means they can both continue to spawn scarabs and be a threat to your opponent. Now we have another unit which is going to be well worth trying to go for wound allocations, and that is the Wraiths. Potentially our best close combat units that we have, rending, etc. on there. But there's quite a few little options, 3 options, which means that you can make the models slightly different. So for example here I've got 2 with the particle weapon, the gun, maybe 2 without, maybe 1 with the other big gun. Obviously you've got lash whips, whip coils in there as well, which you can mess around with. So effectively now when they come in, you roll these in sets. So as your dice come in, say I had these dice, I mean, I had to allocate these rounds. If you say 1 on there, like so, and then I've got 2 left over, which I put, say, on the weakest one. So let's just say 2 without the guns, and then you roll them in sets. So this would be for these 2. So it'd be 1 wound there. He's fine, and then this is rolled as a set, and they're both fine. So effectively, what it does. It's pretty much used, it's basically used when you've got more than 1 wound, because effectively you can keep models up longer, so you could effectively end up with having, say, a wound on there, and a wound on there, whereas effectively what that would be in normal circumstances would be a whole model off, and then a wound on the next model, if they were all the same. So wound allocation on multi-wounded creatures, basically. Hopefully that's useful for you. Will help to keep your unit alive slightly longer and be more of a threat on the table. Okay, thanks for watching.